Hi, today we're going to talk about the random module and how to work with lists. To use the import module, you have to import the module. Okay. Now you might ask, so what is a module? A module is a piece of code that has been written by someone else, and in this case, it's a module written by the Python developers, and you can use it. It has a whole bunch of functionality that is used to work with random numbers. Okay, so first you have to import the module and then you can use it. And the way you use it is, let's just make a random number. So you call the module and you see if you go dot, you'll have a whole bunch of functions that will pop up within your editor that you can now use. So we're going to use rand int because that basically is going to choose a random number, and you'll see it takes two parameters and they're both integers, and it's basically a start value and an end value. So let's say from 1 to 10, and let's just print that out. So now if you run that code, let's go run. I'm in main, so I choose main, and it runs, and it chooses, and you see the number 7. If I run the code again, you should get a different number. You get 1 and 1, 5, 2, and so on. Okay, so that's how you basically use the random module. Okay, so to display float values, let's see a float, random float, and you use random dot random, and that is just a function, and it will return a floating point value that is 0 point something. So example, I'll get 0.49, and if I run it again, first one, so 10, and this one 0.96. So now you might ask yourself, okay, so how do I get a float value that is greater than 0? Well, the simplest way is, let's say if you want it from 0 to say 10 or 5, you would just print random float, and you would multiply it by the number that you want it to go up to, but it will not include that number. So it'll be from 0 to, so if I'm using 10, it'll be 0 to 9.9999 recurring. Okay, so I'll use 10. Okay, so now my first float value, and then it took that same value times it by 10. Now I get 9.78. Okay, so let's explain more about modules. Okay, so as I said, a module is a piece of code that is written by a third party. You can import packages that will add extra modules that you can use, but the random module comes with Python. But if you would like to make your own, like say for example you're working on quite a large project and you want to break down your code, and various people want to work on various parts of the code, it's very simple. You can just put a piece of code in here. Like I can create another file. In this case, I have it already, and I'm just making a message. It's very simple, but this could be a whole bunch of functions or other code. So this is just an example. Now, how do I import that? Well, I'll just go, because it's in the same directory, I just import my message. It should come up. There it is. And then I can just display the message by calling it print my message and dot, and I say, and I want the message. And now it should display my message. You run it, some message you want to import for example purposes, and there's my message. That's just a simple example on how you can import other code. So here's a quick challenge using what we have learned. Make a coin toss program that will show heads or tails. Pause it now and go and think about it, and then I will give you a solution for that. Okay, so yeah, we're back. Let's see, coin toss equals, and you want to get a random number, and because it's an integer, random dot rand int, it's going to be from 0 to 1 because those are only two values that we want it to select from. Okay, so now we've got coin toss. Now we need to say if coin toss is okay, so that will now be a simple solution. Okay, I'm just going to comment out all this other things here except for the random. Otherwise, we can't use it in our coin toss. So let's run that. Right, the first one is tails, heads, tails, heads, again heads, tails, heads, and so on. So there's a quick coin toss solution if you ever want to make a game. Okay, so lists are a data structure that can be used to store any type of data. It doesn't matter on the data. It can store integers, it can store float values, it can store strings, it can store other objects. It's very versatile, and it stores it as in one variable as a list of all these different values. So let's start. Let's see. Let's make a list of caps lock is on. It's fruits. Now a list is always created with square brackets. Okay, so there is my list of fruits. And there they appear, and you'll see it will display it back to you in square brackets. Now, how do you get access to each of those individual values? Well, you'd use something that is called indexing, or the index value. And so you go fruits, and you'd use fruits and index 0. Okay, and if you want to print the second one, so let's say you want to print the second one is 1. So the last one will be 3. Okay, so let's show you that. Apple, banana, pineapple. Okay, so you can also print from starting from the back of the list. Fruits, you can also using indexing, but you go with negative numbers. So the very last value will be 1, and the one before that minus 2. Okay, so you get counting from the back. Now you go pear, pineapple, pear. Okay. Okay, so you can also add things to lists. We're going to use the append, and we're going to append lemon. Lemon is now added on the end. Okay, if you want to extend a list, and you'll see that is now added all of those items. Right, orange, cherries, tomatoes. Okay, let's talk about nested lists. So let's define another list called veggies. Veggies. So now I've got a list called veggies. Now let's say I want to make another list called veggies. Let's call it fruits and veggies. And if I print that out, right, so now we will see, now you have a list within a list. See, you've got one, there's one list, and there's the other list. That's called a nested list. Now, lists don't have to contain everything of the same type. You can actually mix it. So I'm going to give you a mixed list here. It can be, and you should see a mixed list of various items. Let's just go back to random. Let's say I want to pick a random value out of a list, right? You can use the random function. There are various ways you can do this. This is the quick and easy way. You can go random.choice. You'll see there's a choice there, and you pass in the list, and it will give you a random fruit. See, it gives me pear. If I run it again, I should get something else. I'll get a lemon, and I'll get cherries and banana. So that's a random way to pick things out of a list. Right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video today. Please subscribe and like the channel, and we'll chat again. Cheers.